When I was 17, I was in jail. When I was 18, I was back in jail. And I wasn't always so refined and polished as I am today. and, if nothing else works out in life, I have my career as a calf model,
Right. That's right.
or a comedy show. I could do a little stand-up at some time. When I think of a couple of young people that I think about that I'm like, they're kind of impressive are Frank Muir's kids. Frank's a little bit of a wild beast, and he would take no offense if he was here. I would say that, and he would understand. But Frank's a bit of a wild animal himself. But the kids are really well behaved. Kids are very well mannered. His son's 18. He asked. It doesn't matter what his name is, but he asked once to, he said, hey, he was coming to work out with me, lift weights with me. He said, do you think it's okay? Can I bring my son with? And I don't really want to hang out with kids that age, but I thought, if he's asking me, it's important to him. And so I should say yes, Yeah. So I did. I said, yeah, bring him with, no problem. We'll see how it goes. The kid was great. He's 18. He's state wrestling champion over there. And he's just over 200 pounds, and he's trying to lift weights like his father and I, And he's trying to lift the same type of weights. And I said to the kid, I said, hey, listen, we're a lot bigger than you are. We're heavier than you are. We're older than you. We've been doing that for a long time. And I know you're young and athletic, and you feel indestructible, but you're going to tear some up if you're trying to lift weights with guys that are, Frank's probably 285 at the time, and the kid's maybe, 200, 203, something like that. And, it's probably 265. So you're not going to lift weights, guys that are 75 pounds heavier than you that are, lean, strong guys. Like, you're going to hurt yourself. So I said, check this out. I said, instead of thinking about trying to do the maximum weight right now, you got to think about what's going to get you the maximum outcome. And if you lift something that's, pound for pound appropriately. Or maybe you lift a little heavier than us, pound for pound, because the young boy's ego will be happy about that.
Right, yeah, right.
So even if you lift a little heavier than we do pound for pound, you're much less likely to get hurt. And if you don't get hurt today, you can come back tomorrow and make more progress. And if you don't get hurt tomorrow, you can come back the next day and make more progress. And if you think about it that way, you'll make a lot more gains over time. And you're going to be big and strong like your dad when you're older, and do whatever you want to do with that, And he just listened attentive. He listened to every word. His eyes were there and attentive, and he listened to every word. He didn't argue at all. He thanked me for the feedback, and he did exactly what I said for the next 100 minutes. And I thought, all right, so would I give that kid, if he was interested in some of the things that I'm doing, would I give him an internship of some kind or find something for him to do? Yeah. If that's consistent. I don't have a big enough of a sample size of his personality, but I suspect that is kind of how he is. And if he's that way consistently, why wouldn't I want to have, a young guy around that thinks like that, accepts feedback, takes action on it, didn't argue. You know what I mean?
I've hired a couple interns that, in fact, let me tell you a great story. Hunter Campbell. So Hunter Campbell, who's now number 2 in the company, interned with me. And I was really nice to him. And he told me that. I was like, poof. Because he's now number 2. And he goes, he was a law student. And we're the fun department. So if we call him FODFOL, friend of Dana, friend of Lawrence. Lawrence is the COO. They put him in my department, almost always, because they get to work with the athletes, right? It's really good for them. Well, Hunter was my intern for a summer. And now he's number 2 in the company. He's Dana's right-hand guy. So it pays to be nice, right? But he told me I taught him a lot of stuff, and I taught him about athletes and how we deal with them and all that. And for me, I enjoy it. I also don't tell him a lot of stuff that are, like we talked about earlier, that are trade secrets, etc. You never want to tell an intern that. In fact, I actually made a rule that the interns couldn't come to the sponsorship meetings, because then they would know the amounts of money we're paying our fighters. And I just know that at the bar they're going to tell all their, what they're paying so-and-so to do this. So the people got mad at me, but I said, we can't have them in the meetings. I want them to learn, but we can't talk about this in front of those people, right? So that didn't go over very well. I did that like a year ago because they started sponsorships by bringing their interns into the meetings. And we're talking about how much we're going to pay a guy, what we should offer him, what he thinks they'll take, all this stuff that's just not good for them to hear. But so what is your question as far as hiring them or?
No, like more how can you take somebody that may not, like with Frank's kids, they show a lot of potential, like they're routine and they're well raised. Like I'm not in that position to raise those kids.
Well, but you got to explain what your expectations are, right, and make them do it. And if they don't do it, then it's no fault of yours. Like my interns have to be there on time. Like I treat them like they're an employee, and I'm like, this is what time we start. If you don't get, I'm like him. If you don't get here at, if they don't show up on time, I had one guy that kept missing, and I just told him like, don't come back. You need to go to intern somewhere else. I can't. I need to rely on you. Periodically give them tougher and tougher tasks. And if they fail, I talk to them about it and explain, like walk them through maybe how to be successful in that endeavor. Because you can't expect them to know because they don't know. They're used to going to school and really not doing much else, right? I have one guy that's a professional intern, and he tries to intern with me every year. And I think he's like 30 now. So I tell him, no, we had you already like 3 times. But for me, when I work with interns, I'm obviously careful. I don't talk to them the way I talk to my staff. But I also try to give them an experience of what business is like, what people are going to expect from them once they get a job. And also how to get a job and how to keep a job. And that's by performing, right?
There should be some competition. If you want to, if I wanted some new interns, I'd take my little phone and I'd go to Instagram and I'd gibber, and I'd tell them, I'd have my guys create a landing page. Click this link, it goes to a landing page with details. So all the details on the landing page. But I tell them, if you're interested in learning about this, and this, and working with my team and I directly, we're going to accept 3 new interns. If you think you should be one of them, be ready to fly to this city on this date to be a part of it. Click here for details.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then we take them on that landing page and tell them, if you want to be, we'll set up a Calendly link, so they can schedule a 15-minute window. I tell them we're going to do interviews on this day and this day. And maybe it's 10 hours a day because I'm crazy. And we'll put a bunch of interviews, time slots there. Then I tell them, if you want access to the Calendly link, you say, send me a picture of your government issued ID and a flight and a hotel room that match.
Oh, yeah?
I want to know that you're coming.
Yeah.
Okay? So book your flight, come here. Not on the phone, book your flight, come here. If they're not willing to show up for the thing, it's not the right person. A lot of people would be happy to show up. And, and say a few hundred people expressed interest and just say 50 people showed up or something, I tell them we're going to pick 3. And I tell those 3, we're going to keep 1.
Yeah.
You're going to be here for the next 6 months, and I'm not going to talk to you barely at all. You're going to work with my team. You're going to take directions from them. If you have any trouble taking directions from them, then you can just go home and do anything else in life. And if you're still here in 6 months, we can work more directly and we can talk about some things, and maybe there's a good income in your future.
Yeah, my interns mostly work with my staff, but I'll review them. Like every week or a couple of weeks, I'll have them come in my office and talk to them and tell them how they're doing and where they can improve and things that they need to learn and all that. I try to be pretty encouraging, It is their first experience, and I get that. And but also I'm clear with them that there's expectations, and that when you get a job, like you need to perform or they're going to get rid of you. It's a cruel world out there, right? It's not like school. So
I don't even think it's cruel. I think I don't want to be disagreeable, but
I understand. I already know what you're going to say. I could probably agree with you. Yeah, it is what it is. You create your own cruelty.
Yeah, it's a self-inflicted
right,
cruelty.
exactly.
To the extent that it's a cruel world,
it's all
self-inflicted
right.
cruelty.
That's right.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. but now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.